I want you to picture this. It was Friday night, and I had finally decided to give myself a break. Work had been relentless all week, every day feeling heavier than the last. I didn't want to think about bills, about meetings, about anything that could remind me that life had been piling pressure on me. I just wanted to sit at the bar, have a drink, and lose myself for a little while. Maybe catch a game on the big screen, maybe scroll through my phone, maybe just stare into nothingness. The bar was dimly lit, not crowded, the kind of place where you could quietly disappear for a few hours. I grabbed a stool at the end of the counter, the one farthest from the door, and ordered a whiskey neat. I remember taking that first sip and feeling the warmth slide down my throat, the kind that makes you feel like for a moment, nothing else exists. For the first 5 minutes, it worked. I felt normal. Maybe even calm. Then, the door opened, and the air seemed to change. At first, I didn't register it. People were coming in, laughing, greeting the bartender. But there was something in the way they walked, a familiarity in their movements, a confidence that immediately froze me in place. I looked up, and my heart sank before my mind could even process what was happening. There she was. My wife. The woman I had trusted more than anyone in this world. My wife, smiling, laughing, walking in hand with another man. Her hand on his arm around her waist. At first, my brain refused to accept it. It felt like a bad dream. Like maybe I was imagining it. But no, it was real. Every detail burned into my memory. The way her hair fell perfectly across her shoulder, the way he leaned slightly into her, whispering something that made her laugh, a laugh I had never heard directed at me in years. I tried to tell myself to stay calm. Maybe they hadn't seen me. Maybe they were just friends. But deep down, I knew. I had seen the subtle signs over the last months, the late nights, the secretive messages, the way she avoided my eyes sometimes. But seeing them together, so openly, so unapologetically, it was like being punched in the chest while the world kept spinning. I wanted to get up, confront them, demand answers, scream, cry, do something, anything. But I stayed seated, my hands gripping my glass so tightly it burned my palms. I watched as they took a table near the center of the bar, laughing and leaning into each other, completely oblivious, or maybe completely uncaring, of the storm they had just unleashed in me. I couldn't move. I couldn't breathe properly. Every instinct told me to run, to storm over there and make her pay for the betrayal, but another part of me just wanted to disappear, to vanish into the shadows and pretend I didn't exist. My vision blurred, and for a moment, I had to put my head down on the counter, pretending to tie my shoe or adjust my jacket, just to hide the way my body was shaking. And then it hit me. I didn't just feel betrayed. I felt humiliated. This wasn't something secret anymore, something behind closed doors. This was out in the open, in a place where anyone could see. And there I was, sitting alone, whiskey in hand, feeling smaller than I had ever felt in my life. I tried to focus on the TV screen, trying to anchor myself in something normal, but it was impossible. My mind kept drifting back to them, to the way she leaned into him, the way he looked at her like she was the only person in the room. I kept replaying the moments I had missed, the texts I had seen but dismissed, the calls I had overheard, the nights she came home late with excuses I had stupidly believed. And now, it was all confirmed. I wanted to leave, but at the same time, I didn't. I wanted to see how far this would go. I wanted to feel the sting, the raw reality, because maybe if I just ran away, it would feel like it wasn't real. But it was real. Every detail screamed it at me. And then something happened that made it even worse. They noticed me. My wife's eyes locked onto mine across the room, and in that moment, there was no guilt. No shame. Just a smile, small but deliberate, the kind that said, "I know you see us, and I don't care." My stomach dropped. I felt frozen. I wanted to stand up, shout, accuse, but I couldn't. The words wouldn't come. The bar seemed to shrink around me. People moved, the bartender refilled drinks, a couple laughed at a joke, but none of it mattered. I was trapped in that one moment, my entire life flashing in front of my eyes, the nights we had spent together, the promises, the plans, the dreams we had built. All of it crushed by the simple, undeniable truth that she had chosen someone else, and she had done it with a casualness that made my chest ache. I stayed there for what felt like hours, though it was probably just minutes, until finally, I realized I couldn't sit there anymore. I paid for my drink, my hand still trembling, my mind still racing, and I walked out into the cool night air. The city lights blurred around me, my heart pounding, my stomach twisting, and I knew that nothing would ever be the same again. That night, I learned something painful but necessary. Some people show their true colors in subtle ways, but others reveal themselves in full, glaring, undeniable clarity. And when that moment comes, you have a choice. You can deny it, you can rationalize it, or you can accept it and start moving forward. I chose the last, though it hurt more than I thought possible. Walking home alone, I didn't know what the future held, but I knew one thing for sure. I would never let anyone disrespect me, manipulate me, or betray me again. That night marked an end, not just of a marriage, but of a chapter of my life where I had let someone else's choices define my happiness. And maybe that's the hardest lesson of all. Betrayal doesn't just break trust, it forces you to confront the parts of yourself that you ignored, the blind spots you never wanted to see. But in that confrontation, in that raw, painful moment of clarity, you find something else, a strength you didn't know you had, and a determination to never be caught off guard again. So I walked home, cold, humiliated, and heartbroken, but also alive in a way I hadn't been in years. And as the night swallowed me in its quiet darkness, I promised myself that I would rise from that moment, stronger and more aware, ready for whatever came next. Because nothing, not even the most shocking betrayal, can take away the part of you that chooses to fight, to survive, and to keep moving forward.